All right. And we are live. The last word. LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy, Travis, fresh on that crispy Thursday evening. Very Destiny heavy.
I like the
Campfire.
way you said crispy.
I know. I was like crispy. I was like,
What's
what
weird
are
is
we
I
cooking tonight?
felt like a little crunch. I felt like
Yeah,
you bit into like a chicken wing when
just a
when
little
we hit
bit.
on crisp.
You got the
That's
skin
very
extra
good, yeah.
crispy, let it sear,
Mhm.
get that good
Yeah,
sear in
Nice
there.
little,
good.
a nice
That's
sense,
good.
yeah. No seasoning, right?
Cruise.
No seasoning.
Hey,
on that
okay,
one?
I just went through this earlier with my wife. I'm so tired of this. I'm like, y'all suck.
Yeah.
I like some
We do
sauces. I like some spices. I just don't like them all.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Start with the cheetah.
Feels the same way about people.
How we do? Oh, before I actually introduce you, I got to shout you out. I blame you for my latest addiction. It's your fault.
Mine.
God damn it! I had no business buying Dragon's Dogma 2, and end up
hell yeah,
playing
you
this
got
thing
into
for like
that?
18 hours
Yes!
straight and didn't stop playing. And I'm like, I was just supposed to just try it for a
No,
few
this is
hours
exactly
and
what
get
I
back
wanted
to
to do. I'm
Final
so
Fantasy.
happy that you. I did
Oh.
not expect you to jump in. I am very happy you did. Cog, get us started. How's Dragon's Dogma 2 treating you, buddy? Because I talked about it a couple weeks ago, but you're up.
It's your fault. It was you, Maddie, and then I had two guys on ILP. Shout out to Fonzarelli and TK Asante talking about kind of like the random things that could happen in your game. And then I think what it did it for me,
Yes.
Trav, somebody said that they pawn came back with two, like they had the wild eyes, like they had the disease.
Oh, you
So I
just
said, wait, they can get
Dragon
infected?
first. Yeah.
Yeah, I said, what's this? And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta watch the pawns, man. They come back. So I think it's the pawns aspect and the fact that it's everybody from your friends list, and then you can have them enjoy it. And I only thought it was only just one. You could have up to four. So my experience has been absolutely nice. Let's get the bad out the way though. On performance though,
Oh,
on
yeah.
this game.
Game is
whoo,
janky.
Oh boy, it's some jank. It's some jank, boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
It
got
is
that.
very CPU heavy, especially in the cities. It's the
Yes.
AI, the cities. Like graphic, like in combat out in the world, GPU seems to handle it mostly fine. When it's
Yeah.
crowded in a city, it's the AI trying to process too
Yeah.
much stuff. It is just not optimized, and I will fully agree with you there.
Yeah, but I love the system. It's so cool because there's times when, first of all, the sense of adventure, the game does not hold your hand in any level.
Zero.
Like
Zero.
bro, they be like, the quest is over there.
Yep.
Go figure it out. Who to talk to? No. Waypoint? No.
Go east.
Puzzle? Go eat. Bro, it is and I like that. I'm like, you know what? No more waypoint over the guy head. Go figure it out. Oh, you in this person's house? Oh, they may have a secret wall. You may still need to investigate other things. Oh, we've got time quests that have decay on them. So if you don't do them in a certain amount of time, oh, you may lose that or that. You know what? You took too long. That person died in the cave you were supposed to save.
Yeah.
Really? You know what I'm saying? Combat fun. I think my thing is I love scaling on the big enemies, kind of jagging them. I went rogue, and I normally don't because they had the tag name. They had Shinobi. They had Shinobi in there, so I got to do that. But yeah, I like the temperament of the that you could choose of your pawns. You got someone that my guy always goes out, gets the resource. Hey, if I found something over here and we're gonna construct, like it's just a very fun game. Like I really don't have anything negative to say other than the performance stuff. I'm highly addicted. I probably put about 20 something hours in it. Still probably got out of the third town, maybe. But it's really cool. My only negative right now, they kind of have me on this task list with what's the brother? The brother that's telling you to be like, all right, you got to do this with the magistrate. You got to go do this at the masquerade. You got to do that. Like, I'm kind of stuck at this point right here. But other than that, I'm really enjoying my time in the game. And it literally has, outside of Destiny, it shut down my Final Fantasy. It shut down a lot of other things that I was doing, as I didn't expect to like it as much. So shout out to you, Dragon Dogma 2, very addicting. But what have you been playing now that you've beaten? And I watched your guide, your best tips for newbies.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma, beat that. Playing Rise of the Ronin. I'm about 8 hours in. It's challenging. I put it on the highest difficulty. I think I'm just like out of practice. Well, most Souls games don't have difficulties. So I'm like, okay, it's Souls game. Let me go ahead and do the highest difficulty. I appreciate that the difficulties are there for those who want to play Ronin, see the story, run around the world on their horse, do what they're going to do, and feel like they're not totally getting their butt kicked if Souls are less their thing. Because they even have story mode, and then like your key goes to like your balance goes down a little bit slower. They have even a couple settings to really kind of ease it in if you wanted to. I don't know. I feel like it got a lot of crap when it came out. They're just like very mid. Um, the story so far isn't selling me so much, but the combat is, when it hits really well. The combat is really, really good. I just went into a dojo for like kind of a training session against the guy, and I got my butt whooped for a hot minute trying to beat this guy. But once everything started to line up, got my parries, the feedback is really good. That's kind of the thing. It's like between Lies of P, Sekiro, Rise of the Ronin, when parries are slightly involved. So Rise is like Ghost of Tsushima. Kind of, yeah. Different stories, different worlds, like slightly, but open world, 1860s Japan. The main city that you're around, at least in the beginning, is Yokohama. So if you want to put that on a map, that might help. But so far, it is, I mean, it's still Team Ninja. So you've got your gear, your loot, kind of your little stat upgrades and things. You've got a bunch of different weapons. You've got stances you can go between. Some are going to be more or less effective. It is still going to have it leans a lot into the Sekiro, the parrying to kind of break down their posture, get a big critical hit in. And I think when somebody asked, because I was streaming what I played so far, Ghost of Tsushima did the unique thing that lethal mode is what I played it on. It was punishing, but when I sit there and I go shoo, shoo, with like a big sword and I, one slice somebody, because that's probably what's going to happen if you're actually good with a katana, that felt right. And it is still weird to, when you're going through the big giant Adachi massive sword swing, and I'm like, all right, that's a tiny chunk of their health. So it's just that slight different feeling. I mean, it is a Souls game, so you're going to have health bars and stuff, but it is challenging me for sure. I'm kind of enjoying the combat for sure. The world, the loot, a little bit kind of still needs to sell me on. Some of the characters are a little bit goofy. I was running around taking photographs for a little bit of like some side quests, which was kind of random. So there's a few weird things on it so far. I don't know if it's going to be, like the favorite. Like Neo 1 and 2 were more combat focused. There was kind of like a story setup, and then I feel like most things were generally combat with a few things.
Gotcha.
This is trying to play more into telling a story, what's going on in the area, little side quests and things, and I think it's trying a little more there, but I don't know how well it's succeeding. But generally, the combat is the best part of these anyway, and that's where Team Ninja does shine a lot on their combat. So that's been fun. Still been playing Balatro every other time when I kind of pick it up or have the Steam Deck nearby. Just actually got a clear on a different deck today that I hadn't, and if I just lined up the jokers, had a few negative jokers, and everything kind of went together. And it's just when things start multiplying and you get a hand that's worth 1 million points, all of a sudden you're like, hell yeah. And then you get to a point where a blind is 600 million, you're like, no way in hell am I going to get there, because this build is not going to do that. So it's a weirdly addicting game, but there's a lot of depth to it. As you unlock jokers, you get different. I mean, there's a deck at some point you get, I think, half spades and half hearts. Then you can just lean into like flushes, for example, and go all about like leveling up that one. If you get the right planet cards, so you can level up hands. So if you lean into flushes, they have made up hands. They have like a 5 house. So it's like, flush house. No,
flush house.
5 of a kind. And there's like flush house. So it's like 3 king of hearts and then 2 8 of hearts, but it's all the same. And normally in a real deck, that's not possible. So as you change around your deck and mess with the cards, it's got things that aren't even possible. But yeah, 5 of a kind is definitely one of those that you can play when you get up there. So it is a very well made game by one guy, and I'm very happy for their success. So that's cool.
Nice.
I got to play a couple things that I can't tell you guys about till sometime in the future. One you guys have heard about that does exist. I just got to see more on it.
Hey now.
All I can say is it's Tales of Kinzera Zao.
Ow!
So more information will be coming at a later date, but you guys know that game exists. The demo is out there.
Yeah.
If you enjoy Metroidvanias and platformers, go play the demo. That's all I'm going to say, because the demo sold it for me long ago. And then just the more I've seen from previews on other places, it's just one of those that is high on my list. So keep an eye on it.
Shout out to the Longhouse Gaming Podcast who's in the chat right now. They have a fantastic interview with the developer on their channel for Zao Tales of Kinzera.
Yeah, shout out to Black Bag and Samir, I think the guy's name is. He's
Abu.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome story. Awesome to hear about.
So there's that one. There's another one I truly can't mention. That one I got to actually play. The other one I got to see stuff on. Trying to think, played some Destiny here and there. I got a Chain Reaction, Envious
Got?
Assassin, Tusk of the Boar.
Oh, can I
So I
ask you,
got the
E?
Wave Frame Grenade Launcher, but I don't even know if it's going to be worth much. We'll see.
I have this problem, and again, could be a cog user error. You need to help me out. This has happened now. Last 2 Iron Banners and the last 2 trials.
Okay.
They'll say the new Iron Banner's out, and the weapon at the end of the thing will be Tusk of the Bear, right? Or new trials is out, and then the weapon at the end of it will be the new whatever, right? Cog logs in, goes to Saladin or the trials vendor, and at the end of it, it has a basic track, and it's like the exotic is the end. So I have to prestige that and then be able to then see what you guys see. Is there a reason for this?
Are you talking about on the reward track of like rank 6, rank 8, rank
that? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
No, you're not crazy on the new stuff. Like the way you can do it in one of 2 ways, because I had not received a Tusk of the Boar yet. Still haven't prestiged. You just have to get it once. So you have a couple ways you can get to it. You can prestige and see if it's in your next tier. You can have it be a random drop, or you can just turn in the engrams, see what you get from it.
Right.
I turned in some engrams,
and it came out of it.
And I got 1.
Oh, okay. So just turn them in with the hope that it unlocks it.
Yeah, and then when you get 1, then every other engram you can throw at what you're going for.
It's still a little confusing that the track doesn't have that. Like, why is it not updated? It's like they're forcing me to prestige before you do it. I just had to get that out. It was always something I always wanted to ask in Destiny. Continue.
So I played a little bit of Iron Banner. I got the Envious Chain Reaction roll. It's close to a Forbearance, but not quite the same. Because Forbearance, you get the kill with Ambitious, then you could go fire 2, reload and fire 2, and you can do it over and over. This is more of a setup to kill other stuff with your other weapon in your energy slot, which I do like because gives you the wave frame option. Your main ad clearing weapon is going to be here. You can get 2 or 3, depending on how high Envious goes. It might go up to 3. Then you could send out 3, do what you're going to do with Chain Reaction, clear some stuff out, go back to your ad clearing weapon. If you want that slot, it could do some well for it. But again, if you like Forbearance and you've got a different setup, but I like my energy to be my primaries because of all the perks we have with 3.0s.
So it does kind of.
So yeah, can kind of, give you the alternate loadout if you're going for it. Not much else I care about from Iron Banner, though, I can tell you. So other than that, it's like Iron Banner will occupy a little bit of time here. And then a game that comes out tomorrow that I played some of, and I kind of want to promote it at least a little bit. It's called Biomorph. And I think IGN actually did some stuff on it today. It's Metroidvania, which they're all over the place right now. Biomorph, I played the demo. Apparently I had an extended version of the demo. But that demo ran butter smooth, 60 frames per second, just like fully polished. But the idea of the Metroidvania is you're this biological kind of like, you don't really have a form, but you have like some attacks that you can do. But the cool thing, yeah, it is basically Kirby. That's probably the best way to say it. It's a Metroidvania, but Kirby. Yeah. Yes. They describe it as one. That's, I believe we're getting a package, so dog noises. But it's just really, really well polished. Combat's good. And just as I was playing through it, I streamed it one day for just kind of a few demos. And that's the one I played the longest. That one comes out tomorrow morning. It's called Biomorph. It's really cool. If you're looking for a Metroidvania, Kirby, 2D platformer, kind of that weird little mix of things, it's a really well done game, but it's also really, really polished. Like everything I played so far was just running butter smooth the whole time. And I had a good time with it that I know I wanted to play more. So if you want like a Steam Deck game, a Metroidvania on the go, just a Metroidvania at home, wherever you are, like find a way to play it. I think it's PC only right now, but that is another one coming out. I played it a little while back, and that is a really, really good one. Question somebody had in chat, and I feel like I want to say this to as many people as possible.
Okay.
You're looking for previous episodes of the show, or you're looking for this one video form tomorrow. There is a YouTube channel that is different than this one. So there's a playlist I think some people will find that's on my main channel, but I unlist these on my main channel. So I'm kind of working on the algorithm, bigger average videos and all that stuff. And our podcast is just not huge. It's just not. And then I will upload it to Spotify, Apple. It goes to all the RSS feeds. So audio's out there wherever you look for it, but it goes to the Last Word Podcast YouTube channel. So I will look that up while you guys are talking.
Yeah, well, let's go. Travis has been patient. We've been running our mouths.
Travis
Travis,
has
man,
some big news to talk
what's
about.
going on? I see
Yeah.
some things on your timeline that got me hyped. What have you been playing? What's been going on with you, bro?
Nothing much.
No, just quiet, just all quiet on the front here.
Yeah, I played some Dragon's Dogma 2. I like that game. I agree that it's a very Eastern RPG and that it doesn't explain things well. UI is terrible. The story is
horrible.
laughably bad.
The UI was horrible.
But it's just fun. It's silly and good time. So I'm having fun with that. I haven't been able to play it a ton because my fiance is working her way through Dragon's Dogma 1, and I'm supposed to wait a little bit before we go totally ham.
All right, let's get to the important question. Before you move on, I need to know them pawns. What vocation did you go with? What's your pawn? What you rocking with, if you can remember?
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm using magic. I'm a magic guy.
Okay.
And
so
then my pawn is a big beefy boy who gets in the way of the enemies basically I got Cog up front and me, the sneaky little magician in the back. That's how I roll, baby. That one's fun. I haven't played much of Rise of Ronin. I think I'm really over the samurai thing. They keep making these samurai games and they keep getting worse. It was like Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima, Wolong, and now Rise of Ronin, which I was pretty mid. So I don't know. They keep making these damn samurai games, and none of them are better than Sekiro. So, but I've obviously been doing reviews. I did 5 reviews in March.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a busy month, and this month I'm pretty focused, at least in the first half, on IGN's digital cover story for a game that just got announced on Tuesday called Eternal Strands. Eternal Strands.
Talk about it.
I'm sure you guys have seen the news now, but it is made by Yellow Brick Games. This is their debut game. They are a studio in Canada. They have a lot of former Ubisoft, BioWare, and EA devs from up there, or their own indie studio, and they're making an action adventure. And I guess the elevator pitch that I've been telling people is that it's basically like Shadow of Colossus big boss fighting meets Tears of the Kingdom physics manipulation magic stuff, right? And so if you can think of like how in Tears of the Kingdom they give you like a tool set to manipulate like the physics of the game to do weird stuff. They do that in this, except for instead of in Tears of the Kingdom, you mostly use this physics manipulation to get from point A to point B and also to solve puzzles. And in this game, you're using the physics manipulation to do combat, basically. It's like a very combat heavy game. And so, it's an action adventure where you're crawling all over bosses and fighting them. I played a bunch of it when I was up in Canada, and then over the next couple weeks, we're going to be releasing content every couple days. To just tell people more about the game, and then this month will end with me doing my full preview based on my time with the game. Fun. So
nice.
So on Tuesday we announced the game to the world. You can see the reveal trailer, and then earlier today we showed off the first boss fight with an interview with some of the devs who worked on the game and are telling you about the boss and things to worry about. So that was pretty fun.
Nice, man.
And that's what I've been working on.
Nice. Yeah, like I said at the top, Dragon's Dogma, ton of that Destiny for me. A lot of PvP, Trav. A lot of PvP. Slowly been hitting competitive. I want to shout them out. Competitive, I didn't realize this is given shards, it's given materials, it's given obviously the artifice. I thought it was just going to be artifice and that's it. So now it's like, hey, play 3 matches in competitive, you get this thing. Or the new what is it? That Strand pulse rifle that's exclusive to Crucible. I was like, where have I been? So I've been actually jumping in competitive, was fun, and then in trials a bit. The persistence card is still very hard for me. I'll be honest with you. What is it? You get one, and then you keep knocking the loss down, whatever. I actually still go back to just doing the mercy one. You know what I'm saying? If you get one, I prefer that because at least my wins maintain, and I'll just finish it out even if I don't go to the lighthouse. But I will say with the meta, now that I've played a lot, it's very precision focused. And I will say that bro, Jade Rabbit is outside. Scouts are back. Randy's throwing knife, the 260s and symmetry. Oh boy, ping, 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 and you're out of here. So that's that. I will say it's refreshing to not have rundown shotguns on you every 5 minutes. People are having to earn those kills. Less fools.
Hey,
it's very primary
calm
heavy.
down.
I'm just saying, I'm having fun, man. Now, I will. The only negative I would say is that you get into, okay, what is it, Dominion, and everybody's rushing to put the well and the bubble down, and to cap the final spot. But I will say the sandbox plays better. I have to admit, so far I'm seeing a lot of sidearms. I'm seeing a lot of SMG play, less sniping, but overall, so far so good with the sandbox. I'm playing a ton of competitive and trials lately, so I have to say now I feel like I've settled into the meta and what the meta is. Oh, and ARs, yeah, they're definitely back. Precision specifically. Yeah.
The last time I played it, which I think was a couple weeks ago, when I sat down and played it for like 4 or 5 hours, my recollection is it was very primary heavy and not very power based anymore, which, as you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of. And then whenever there were powers, it was always the spammy shit, like people throwing Well of Radiance down and then just like ruining the game for 60 seconds, basically. So I don't know. I definitely don't miss the day of like the apes ruling, where you can just slide and jump with the shotgun, and that was the entire game. But there's not a ton of diversity anymore. It really is just, at least when I was playing, it was like all scouts. People were
will say I'm seeing a lot of stuff, man. Yeah, you get your hit, you get your ARs, you get your, obviously what's the one from Prophecy that everybody farms? Shout out to Ares, he knows what it is. Prosecutor, the 600 summoners, pulses are hanging.
Prosecutor, man.
Yeah. Dirty.
That was that's a callback. Trials of the 9 days.
Yeah. But so a lot of Destiny, but we got stuff to discuss, so I ain't gonna ramble too much more. What's going on in this game, man? Streams happening? What's happening, bro?
First thing I wanted to say, I put a little picture in our chat. There is going to be a plushie Oryx from Numbskull Designs, and it is adorable. Like, this is the cutest Oryx I've seen, and it is. They managed to make Oryx kind of cute, and that alone takes a little bit of a challenge, but I just thought it was hilarious. So we had our stream, Into the Light developer stream number 3, and main 3 topics this week were exotic missions. What were they? PvP map tour, and then a tease about Pantheon. So in that order, Travis, wanted to get your take, as spicy or hot as it may be. The exotic missions that we got are not Bad Juju or Harbinger. What we got was actually 0 Hour and Whisper. Thoughts from our astute?
Those are probably the best ones. Generally speaking, I do not get excited about re-released content or re-released weapons, and so my reaction to this at most was ever going to be like a 3 out of 10 on the hype scale. But I would say that they attained the 3, which for Destiny these days, it's about as good as it gets, really, until we get some real new content.
If we would have got Bad Juju and Hawkmoon and the other 2 are just sitting out there, I'd have been like, all right, you couldn't give me one. I thought it was going to be 0 Hour and Harbinger, so the fact that we got Whisper as well as 0 Hour, I was surprised.
Pretty good. I mean, it's the best we could ask for from, again, re-released content that I already played a bunch. So,
Dog, thoughts on what we got? Any excitement? Anything you want to go back and do? Or are you like, oh, I thought I was done with these? Where are you at?
Now, this is in reference just to the 2 exotic missions or the stream. Okay,
just the exotics.
So, they pretty much aligned with Travis. They picked the best, right? I felt my plums. They was gonna give us that Whisper. I felt they had to. You will drown. I'm curious. The changes to the boss mechanics, which they are very much highlighting that it is extremely different. But to Travis's point, when I saw the stream, I'm like, okay, they look the same. I don't really see too much anything. The jumps look the same. Everything looks the same kind of thing. I thought another interesting.
They should change the dialogue to make Zol sound like way more of a bitch. You know what I mean? Like you should be like, actually, I will drown.
I will drown
in a strike. It won't be hard. You know, like that would be cool if they did that. That would be really. Then I would want to play these new. I would want to play them. That gives
that would be hilarious if they did some
vibe.
What I thought was cool was that they didn't run from the fact that we're more powerful than we were during the time of the debut.
No, the Whisper debuted at the start. It was like Eager Edge. Shoom. I'm like,
bro, Eager Edge. Okay. You see it? I was like, oh yeah, outside with it. Okay, so I saw the Eager Edge, and they didn't, run away from Strand. Like they're like, look, there's gonna be parts where you can utilize this. To me, what it was about for me, and maybe I'm a big sap, but I think I got to shout out the homie because this is his lane, which is Scarrow, right? I always felt Destiny was at its best when there were those community-based secrets that led to these amazing things. And, I did like hearing the lore and the information from the team and the thought process on Trevor and all this. And then the last part was for the craftable roles. I thought that was cool. I was a little disappointed with Whisper. I thought it would get a little bit extra. I think maybe 1 or 2 perks there, but Outbreak perfected with I believe with Rewind. Also
Rapid Hit was probably
Rapid Hit had to. Outbreak could be pretty nasty in this current sandbox. So look, again, I don't want to get too crazy. This is older content that we've had, but they picked the 2 best, and we'll talk about the rest of the stream. I thought it was a nice piece to a bigger whole of the content that we were about to get. But I really like the way they had. And I gotta shout, what's the homie's name? Salisbury, I believe his name.
Yeah, Andy Salisbury.
I really like him on these streams. I
talked to him on the floor of GCX. Really, really nice dude. Like easy to talk to, just pretty positive personality. And he kind of thought he ran it well, kept things kind of moving along at a good clip, but bounced between but also I respect the fact that he let the developers talk when they wanted to, and they went deep on stuff that they wanted to. He played the stream well. I do agree.
And the reason why I want to give his flowers is because, let's be honest, I've always felt, and this is salute to the OG, Deej was like the master of ceremonies when it came to that thing. When they had Deej, it was a flow, it was a rhythm, and it was also someone that was passionate about the game. And I think they finally got, like, Salisbury's doing the thing. I really look forward to his streams. Very informative, and I can tell he plays the game. He knows the inside jokes. He knows all the little nuances. So salute to that. But anyway, that's enough about that. What else was going on in stream?
Yeah. I mean, for me, just on the exotic missions, we've got 2 versions. We've got the normal version, and the timer has been raised from like 20 minutes all the way up to 40.
Correct.
I don't know if they were 20 or 25. Everybody was saying they were 20 up to 40. I feel like it was 25 on some, but maybe it was just 20. I did it too many times. I honestly forgot.
Yeah.
So for the normal version to get the guns, for the normal version to get the weapon, to be able to do what you want to do, for just kind of upgrading the basics like stats, which you'll do. They said on a weekly quest. Once you've got it, you'll be running this thing like 3 or 4 times. They're going to get some use out of it. The extended timer is probably nice for those who just want to get the weapon. If you haven't got the catalyst before, if you need to go get the catalyst, if you want to find the secret chest, 20-minute timer is still there. And as I was literally watching Twitter, some people are like, oh, the 40-minute timer's a bummer. And then they're like, hey, the legend difficulty is down to 20 minutes. It's tighter. It's going to be a challenge. And I think that appeased a lot of the people who were thinking they made it too easy. So I will be kind of curious the differences between the 2. I don't actually know which.
Shut up, dude. What?
Who are you laughing at? You've been laughing.
There's this raven outside my window screaming. I mean, he's
Travis
like going out.
I thought I was saying something, and Travis was like looking over and doing things over here. No, he just has like Edgar Allan Poe outside of his window. Edgar Allan Poe is just like screaming at him right now. Yeah,
I love that.
He's huge. Have you guys seen how big ravens
are?
Yeah,
yeah, they're stout. For birds,
you're talking too much. They came.
But no, I mean it'll be fun to run through these again, just to kind of just to mostly see how they feel with our new builds. Like everything that we've got, as you said, Eager Edge, Strands, just the power that we've got, sunspots. I mean, there's different ways that you're going to be able to play these encounters. And right now with our solar sandbox, at least for the artifact, I'm still probably going to be going pretty solar on my builds for survivability and stuff like that to keep me alive, especially if I go Precious Scars. If I put that build on and I'm just getting kills with solar weapons, I'm not really dying. I may not be the fastest, but I can probably be more aggressive because I can. And if you got enough stuff to kill. And the other thing I remember about these missions as I was walking as they were going through them, shields used to be such a bigger thing when these were actually out. So the fact that shields are something you can just kind of work your way through with most weapons with just some consistency, matching them is not nearly as crucial to say, what's going here? I need a void one here, but I need arc here or solar, and I got to do all. It's like, that's not as big of a deal. So I'll be very curious how they balance the feel of the mission with our ability to throw way more at the enemies. And then,
yeah, wasn't it? I remember like all the whisper runs I did were like, all right, we need to make sure between the three of us, everybody's got all the elements covered. And then we all have to have sniper rifles and not use any of the ammo until the very end.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I had
in the back of the room went do.
See, I'll be curious on the whisper. Can you stand like kind of up on the rocks and shoot the boss from down above there? Are they going to block that one off? Are they going to block it off though? Because they would tend to do that.
The hustles.
They didn't do it for the most recent.
Like Polaris Lance, just bing, bing. Because we had Polaris Lance for that mission, and people just sat in the back like infinite ammo. It's bing, bing, bing.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember, ammo was an issue. We didn't have infinite primary for some of the stuff,
yeah,
too.
We kept running out of ammo.
So we are in a different sandbox for these. So while they are rehashes, I'm going to know where to go for the puzzles. I mean, yeah, we're probably going to have to look in a couple different places for chests and things of that nature.
Yeah, chests.
It's more how the combat feels in both of these and how fast you can go. And I think that's what's going to be the interesting part. And then, you know, I'm going to have to try and solo it on Legend, so I'll be sure I'm going to be bashing. I mean, the normal version video I can probably do on day one.
Yeah.
And then the Legend video, I'm not going to be esoteric who, like, doesn't want one hand behind his tack and a patch over his eye. He's going to do Legend with just white weapons and white armor in 1600 level or something. So it's what he does.
For us hardcore that already have the catalysts, didn't they?
So I feel like they said you. I feel like they said you could just equip the catalyst maybe because we're not getting new catalysts. You're unlocking perks by doing the normal ones, so you may not have to. But there may be other secrets in there. We'll just have to see what the other stuff is. We get a super catalyst. It would be nice, right? Like the catalyst for the catalyst. I mean, you don't need to get the catalyst again.
I've got all my catalysts done.
So yeah, if you've got it done, you don't need to. But
good. I'll just do the 40-minute version.
Yeah. And that's why that will be my main thing I work on Tuesday. That's going to be the first thing. I do appreciate, for me at least, they said the 0 hour is going to be in May. I'm out of town from like April 29th through like May 2nd. And I think
that's like no time.
No, it's a short trip. Well, I mean, it's actually a day before.
Like it was like a
I would tell like he's gonna be. He did the distinction like it was
3 days.
No, sorry, it's like a Sunday to a Friday. It's most of a week. I'll miss that episode, but I did the dates wrong then.
Gotcha, you good.
But I think if they said 0 hours in May, and being as technically April 30th is like that Tuesday, hopefully I'm not going to miss the reset for 0 hours. So I'm hoping I'm like dodging all this perfectly. So, and then with the
here's a question related to that. What is the thing you guys have moved most in your life to account for a Destiny thing?
Ooh,
like what is the biggest thing in your life that you've moved in order to be able to play Destiny?
That's a good one. I moved the job interview. I literally moved a whole job interview during what is it, Forsaken? It was around Forsaken time. I was just like, now what date was that? And I said, hold on, let me get back. I have to make sure that I have something. I may be out of town that day. Oh, facts. I definitely all like the big ones, Taken Kings, the Witch Queens. Yeah, I've moved things around. There's no question. I'm definitely admitting that.
I don't think I've had to move anything. I just very specifically haven't planned anything when I know those dates enough.
Stuff. Come on. Yeah, there's something you've had to work around.
I mean, I've missed so many games, if that counts for anything. Like, do you have any idea how...
just doesn't have a social life. This isn't fun.
No, he seems structured. He's holding down. But I am surprised that like you never try to like move like a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, like a birthday party or like a
party. So
friend who needed you or
the family
something.
wants you to come
never,
down.
It didn't
want to
really
see the brother
ever...
this week. Never.
Damn. He's such privilege. I don't understand how somebody.
No, sometimes just like it is just destiny, so the priorities were in the right place occasionally.
True.
The
in
right
his
place?
defense, he's already
committed. You just ditch destiny.
Sometimes, I mean, if it was a big expansion release, I never missed it, but I also like knew, hey, around this time, tell them whether it's my friends or my wife or whatever, it's like I'm gonna be busy. Like that's just how this is gonna go.
So you've already conditioned the world. Ebontis world, no.
Destiny expansion.
Do not mess with me.
I'm busy. Yeah. That's just how that went. I mean, it wasn't really much of a question.
That's hardcore.
So the answer though is that you don't know what you've put off.
I mean, that's fair.
There could be a whole bunch of
opportunity cost. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times there's been plenty of times, my wife has gone out to do something and be like, bye, have fun. Those moments, but it's just kind of how it goes.
Oh, shout out to Robert Jones. See, he's right. The smart move isn't just to take the Tuesday. You also do the Wednesday because you know the server's going to be bad on day one.
Yeah, I learned that years ago. I never.
That's OG talk right there. That's expansion OG excitement.
I think the Taken King was the last time I took the day of launch off, and I regretted it.
Yep.
And that one I had already played the expansion because that was back when Bungie used to do on-site reviews. So.
The funny thing is though, lately the big stuff has launched pretty smooth. It'll be just a random Tuesday. 12 hours of maintenance for no reason. Background maintenance is, we will update you in an hour, and then another hour, and then in 2 hours. Like that, I feel happens.
Wasn't the Witch Queen pretty rough the first day? It was like 3 or 4 hours I wasn't logged on. I remember the Witch Queen was pretty.
I remember the roughest one I think was like, Forsaken. Remember like. Yeah, that
was terrible.
Yeah.
That one was like
it's like they've made strides to make them a little smoother.
Yeah, the queue. But that's what was the one we found out about the queue waiting and the number you are in line.
Oh god, I couldn't tell you, but yeah, that's scarred into all of our memory.
I think that was the one Shadowkeep.
I was like,
pretty sure that was the one where we had the queue.
Guitar, taper. We have so many animals. There's an entire zoo and other things running around my computer, so it's totally fine. But yeah, it's more been I've chosen to not plan things on those because you get to know months in advance, and it's just
ruin my question.
Yep. I'm sorry. Sorry to let you down.
I let a girl break up with me.
Because of Destiny?
Yeah, because she was like, look, it's either you're not taking this relationship seriously, and I was like, agreed. And she was like, either you're gonna hang out with me or we're not gonna be together. And I was like, okay, that's pretty easy for me.
She gave the ultimatum?
Yeah, she did. I was like, that's pretty easy. Yeah. I was like,
I mean, she's obviously not the right one because you're now engaged anyway. But it's
obviously this was before.
Anybody who ultimatums like that, and your whole world is based around like IGN and games and everything that you do, and like you do D&D and so much stuff. I'm like, if you're gonna tell him not to play games just to hang out with you, I'm like,
this was also like I think this was for Rise of Iron, and I was reviewing that game, and I had done the on-site review and stuff like that, so it was like it was work adjacent. It was like I'm trying to work it, but a lot of like I would say maybe 80% of the girls I dated were like didn't get the gaming thing. They thought it was just like a hobby, and they couldn't wrap their minds around the fact that I was making money off of it or whatever.
He's gonna hang out with me.
Yeah, so it was literally that's actually not the first girl that broke up with me over a video game. It's
real.
Whatever. I don't care. I've been extremely. I like to think, with the exception of my current relationship, I've been extremely inattentive. I'm extremely aloof. Like, if you're gonna be dating me, you're gonna realize I'm always gonna put work first, and that's just how it's gonna be. So.
Love it.
I was a pretty shit boyfriend for many years.
Shout out to Chad holding it down, like yo.
It's totally something to be proud of. Not at all sad.
Hey, you found the right one now. You guys are gaming together.
She games with me. If I tell her, hey, there's a Destiny thing coming out, she goes, okay, time for me to reinstall it. That's ride or die right there.
That's love. What?
That's love.
That's your. I mean, for some of your wedding party, that's all you gotta say in your vows is like, I say there's a Destiny expansion coming. She's like, where do I reinstall?
Yeah, she's like, get me a code. Get me a
Let's
code. I want to play
go.
with you. I gotta start training up my warlock. That's what she says.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. So exotic missions. Think we pretty much hashed that one out. I will be curious to see again how combat feels, timers feel, difficulties, all that fun. Next part of the stream, PvP maps. For our PvP mate, hold on, we don't have any one of those anymore.
Oh, sure, we don't have a PvP main.
We don't have a
As a
PvP
former
main anymore.
PvP main.
As a
we gotta
former
rehire.
PvP main, Travis, do you have any
Yes.
thoughts about these maps?
I'm excited that there's new maps.
Fair.
That's it. I don't care the content really. They could be a blank canvas. I'm just happy there's new maps.
Which two of the three? I heard it was 3, and we got to see it was Midtown. Which two of the 3 maps do you think might hold Onslaught?
Let me look them up again. I had them up here before the podcast.
So you got the one on Europa with kind of the caves and the snow. You got the one on Neomuna that looks like a doctor's office. Pretty like
Yep.
white, clean architecture. I actually kind of like the look of that one a lot. And then you've got the Vow of the Disciple. No, wrong raid.
No.
Yeah,
Root of
one.
Nightmares.
Root of Nightmares looking one, but where they almost like grayed out all the textures because they talked about that. They like the pyramid architecture has so much, the background is so busy. They really look like they grayed it out and kind of made it so where the player would contrast more against it. The player.
I hope it's the Root of Nightmares one. Personally. I'm just glad there's new maps, guys. Well, they don't even have to be stellar. Like they could be experiments that you take off the playlist at some point if they're not working, but like just new content, man. Jeez.
I hope they're weighted high.
I'm so on that like I don't know. Sometimes then it feels like those are all the maps in the game. I guess
maybe if they're all like 0.5, maybe they're like 0.6. Just
they should be more.
Yeah, just a smidge more. They don't need to be like 0.9.
Yeah.
Correct.
I want Destiny to feel like it has a lot of maps. That would be great.
No, absolutely, yeah. I'll jump in. Pleasantly surprised. I like the homie that came in there. What's his name? Casey something. I think his name's I was like, oh, you're the guy. I'm trying to identify PvP people now. I'm like, oh, you're the guy. This is who I need to be watching because it's rare. We don't see this. So I was excited that they brought a dedicated PvP person onto a couch. I was like, wow, this is great.
Cooley Callahan.
Yes, Callahan. Yeah. So
makes me think of Tommy Boy. Tommy Callahan.
Tommy Callahan. Yeah,
those are the days. Oh,
for me, Tommy. Shout out to Tommy. I love the fact that we have maps that coincide with content that dropped and expansions that dropped. Right? How what a thought, right? What a thing. Like, look at us.
I mean, we should also get one with the final shape, but I feel like that's just an amalgamation of all the maps.
Yeah. So we had the Europa joint, the big catch in the back. That one looked like a D1 map, though.
It did.
I could. Okay, was I bugging? I felt like that.
It had some. There was somebody mentioned one that it looked like. I mean, it was different. It looked. That was the one I would probably say I liked the least personally for me.
Yes,
because it felt very cramped. Like every cave kind of had a thing.
Caves.
Yeah.
Then it had the outside portion, which remind me of a D1 map. So I feel that one's D1 inspired. Not taking that away from it, but I'm just saying it's got to be pointed out. Criticism when necessary. Then we had the Neomuna one that I really liked.
I like the look of that one.
The look looked dope. Got the arcade thing going on, and then we have verticality. That's Halo days. I'm like, okay,
that did look cool.
I was like, all right, so we got to see how it plays. Dissonance, they threw me off only because I like that they went a different route. I thought they were going to go typical classic pyramid. When they say pyramid ship, you're thinking, the dark, the monolithic, and all of that. They went with Root of Nightmares, which is a unique spin on it. Like the little flowery things going through and stuff like that. That looked cool. We don't know how these are going to play, right? These bats could be awful, but the main thing that I like that he said is
I'll take awful and new.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that he said that they made them with the control points in mind first. So at least I'm thinking symmetry and balance on some level, and we'll see how that is. But I thought, look, finally, dedicated team maps. This is a start. Keep it going. I really like that PvP got some love. So they gave him they gave him bars to talk. He got the walkthrough. Yeah.
I don't know what the if the limitation is just completely different, but it seems like the Destiny philosophy has been like, you put out what you think is like the ultimate finished project, and you don't really experiment with different types of maps. And when I think of Bungie multiplayer design, I think of like the Halo days where they would just put out maps like all the time, and some of them were just them trying new things. They're like, I wonder if this would work, just like a ship that's cleaved in half, and you use teleporters to get to different halves of the ship. Remember that, like in Halo Combat Evolved?
Hell yeah!
They just tried it, and like it wasn't really always the best map, but it was like, oh, it's just a fun idea they threw in there just to see if it worked, and it seems like
Joe kind of
there's not a lot of
that.
experimentation.
Well, Joe did mention that. Really?
I feel like there was a point where Joe, because this sounds exactly like you're spot on. I feel like there was a point where Joe mentioned that they were trying to bring back with the PvP strike team, but it was why does this sound familiar? Because it was some point to where they would try things, but they didn't quite work out, so they would just like shelve it, kind of as you're saying. I feel like that was actually said. So I feel like you're right on the money, but I feel like that
seemed to be the old Bungie philosophy when I first started covering Bungie back in their Halo days, and it seems like they really have switched to like a, iterate and release maps like once a year philosophy. And I get why you'd want to do that, because it's definitely less chaotic and more controlled, and you want people to take your game seriously and not screw up the sandbox and yada yada. But I do think you lose a lot of fun when you restrict it so much that it feels like you're just not trying new stuff and being weird. I think sometimes it's okay to make mistakes, but I just don't know if like the new the tools that they have for Destiny make it like really hard or intensive to make new multiplayer maps, or what the deal is. But just from the outside looking in, it looked like Bungie was having more fun as a studio when they were just like throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what stuck, and just goofing off. And so I'd really like to get back to that, because even if it doesn't work, it is a fun experience to just like have this weird map, and then everybody, even if it doesn't stay in the game later, people like look back and go, remember that one map that they tried that was like totally weird? It just creates cool memories, I think.
I mean, that's, if they're allowed to be a little more free. I mean, they can iterate on it as much as they want with internal testing, and then you can give it a whole player audience, and you still don't know what they're going to think, how they're going to break it. They did say they had feedback in the stream from like external testing. They brought people in, they got them to test it. They got a lot of feedback, some that they, may not have expected. They actually were able to take the feedback, kind of incorporate it into the map and make the changes where possible with the early feedback and stuff like that, which if that's what it takes to do it, and maybe they don't have all the eyes they need to be able to make those kind of changes, and they need to do external type testing, by all means do it. Because if you can put more maps out and you just need that type of those proper eyes on it, your Kami Cakes, your True Vanguard, the analytical PvP guys that are going to give you legit, constructive criticism, not just this map feels like crap, something they said that is actionable. They can get those type of people in there, do it, by all means. Like, it's worth them. It's worth it, because people want maps and they've wanted them forever. So do what it takes.
Jesus, so refreshing just to see. I was like,
it really is. And I think they had said a couple years ago that they were going to stop releasing one map at a time, because one map isn't enough to shake up multiplayer, right? And they were going to wait a couple years and drop like a map pack. So it seems like this is them finally doing it. I don't know if 3 maps will be enough, but it is certainly a lot better than once a year, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So definitely one of my favorite parts of the stream, for sure. Your thoughts on it? Are you good?
Oh, I mean, yeah, as I said, the Europa one I think was probably my least favorite of the 3. Just felt kind of cramped, like you're going to be running through a lot of tunnels and stuff. It felt, there's that kind of one section that looked a little more open, but see how that one plays, but it felt a little more cramped to my liking. I love the aesthetic of the Neomuna one. I don't know why, just the white walls and the architecture in there, the heavy ammo spot that's just right in the worst spot possible to go for. The risk for reward in the middle.
Risk it for that one.
Yeah, risk it for the biscuit on that one. And then I like the idea of the Root of Nightmares one, but I couldn't get a feel of, it did feel more open, but I couldn't get a feel of how it would play that one at all. It was mostly, all I can say is, please, I don't care if I die. Give me this camera tool that they've got.
Oh, that goes back and forth.
I have, like, I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to go into a playtest session or something like that in the PvE spaces like you can do it in PvP maps, but even if there was just a mode for being able to move around with no HUD, there's been a video that I would love to make in the back of my mind for a long time, but if you can't move without a HUD, it's damn near impossible to do it well.
I got you.
So it's one of those things I wish I could do, and I see the tool, and you just see him kind of click a button, all of a sudden the weapons and everything pop back up. I'm like, just let me drop my HUD and run around. I don't care if I die, just let me run around and drop my HUD.
Games a lot. Sometimes when you review a game, they give you like a a dev version or
Yeah,
preview
or
version.
debug menu or something.
And sometimes I'll try different combinations on. For some reason, it's usually on controller. Like the command on keyboard doesn't work, but if you know the buttons to hit on a controller, you have a little like bar at the top will drop down, and then you can just do stuff like enter the camera mode. I've been able to do that on some games, which is pretty funny.
That's dope.
It's It's like I find that they make it if you hit both triggers and both bumpers at the same time on a lot of the games. That's like the first thing I try when I have like a preview game. Sometimes you can just go gunk,
flip,
yeah,
switch out. That's dope.
Yeah, so it's just what really wanted me to do it is there was a song that came with, I think it was season of maybe Worthy, and I feel like it was one I almost like found, sent it to you, Cog, maybe at a point. There was a trailer to that one that had a really cool song. I looked it up on Spotify, and there was a very certain artist, and it's Brand X Music. They do a bunch of this like cinematic type music and stuff, and they used them for one of those.
Licensed music.
Yeah. And I looked up, I found a different song, and I was like, I could do a trailer for like Pit of Heresy. It was always the one I really wanted to do because I love the aesthetic of Pit. From the top, looking down, you've got like the swings that you could do to certain stuff. And I've always wanted to make my own video to it, but I was like, I want to move. I want to be able to move and do this. Not just like park, maybe back up to a wall.
Yeah.
There's not a great way to always get those shots or like crop out part of your screen and stuff. So it's just one of those things I've always wanted to do, but can't ever get the camera right. So it's just a weird thing of mine.
I feel you.
Let's see. So we got PvP maps.
Ebontis wants to do free work for you, Bungie.
Yes.
He wants to make trailers for your game, and
He's ready.
You won't let him. You won't
cook.
let him engage in this
Can
unpaid...
I have this tool? Can I get the special Destiny 1? Can I get the Destiny special 0.1 version or something? Download and have that one. Yeah.
There you go.
I don't care if I'm running around in a space and I get killed, but at least let me get a clean shot, like on the move.
Clean shot at it.
Can't tell you how many times I want to get a picture of a boss, and I'm trying to like look at the boss with no HUD on and swap my weapon, and then try and get the like screenshot while my weapon is swapping, just to try and get a clean shot of a boss, but still be close enough to where it's like crisp. If I could just run at the dude and have it be there, that'd be great. So much easier. So I think the other main thing that was mentioned, I feel like I'm missing something, but the other main thing that was mentioned was Pantheon. So we've got Pantheon. They did mention character customization if you want to change your hair or your eyes. So if you don't want to look complete like whatever junk you made 8 years ago or something, when you take your helmet off in tower, you might look a little bit better. Also a name change. They're going to give you one more token for one of those. So if you didn't choose wisely, you can try and make that a little bit better. Okay, before I get to the Pantheon, new light tutorial experience. They pretty much made it to where you can skip it all. So now they've taken the new light experience and said, let your friends help you. They will be your guide. That is no longer on us. And here's a starter kit of legendary weapons like an exotic and some armor. Go. Do you guys like this? Do you feel like this is just like kicking the can down the road?
I'll let Travis comment on this.
I hate it. Yeah. I mean, look, players skipping it, I don't think that's a big problem, but it does feel like an admission of defeat to me.
Yeah,
like,
it's like we don't have
a little bit, right? Like, it's like nobody's gonna we give up. You can skip it. I don't know.
Just skip it and get it here. I think that's the solution.
I mean,
I'm with you, John. That's how I like it. They've admitted defeat. We're not avoiding anything. When you want to get it, we want to get down.
We don't
go
have
here.
The analytics say we don't have enough new players coming in to invest an entire bed of teams work into a new player experience to make it worth your time, to teach you all the things that you need to teach you. There's 20,000 content creators on YouTube that compete with each other to tell you all the same stuff anyway. Go look it up from them. That's not on us anymore. We're gonna do what we do.
Yeah, they just say, look, we're a bit defeat here. This is not something we're really committed to doing. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let them go play with their friends right then and there. Pick up a chest.
It's just like a survival game. We're not going to hold your hand. Go figure it out.
Yeah. New light experience.
The Dragon's Dogma 2 of Destiny 2.
Dragon's Dogma.
It's over there. It's over there. Go figure it out.
It's over there. Find your content creator friend and go out.
Oh, man.
That's what they're doing now. So I respect
Bad
it.
joke. Sorry, Bungie. But yeah, this was an interesting choice, but I think that's probably why. Anyway, new tutorial, new light experience aside, Pantheon. So they didn't tell much about this one. They basically described it as a new raid boss gauntlet starting on April 30th, In Pantheon, you have the opportunity to face raid bosses in a weekly challenge with escalating difficulties and rewards. This is a chance for you to rally your clan and use Fireteam Finder to take on this challenge. We'll have more details closer to release. Now, before either of you say anything else, I have one question. Do you think this is going to include anything that is not in the game right now?
Yes. With a caveat. The caveat.
I'm with Travis, so I'm curious what you say.
No, the caveat is my hope, and this is a selfish hope. I missed out.
How much copium are you huffing on?
I missed out on Galron. What's the third apartment? 3B
we don't even
in
have
the
Leviathan raid, and you want
right.
Galron.
Right. I want Galron.
Nope.
Apartment 3B the raid.
No.
That we missed out.
No.
That's the selfish hope. So I was like, hey, we got Midnight Cool. So they flirting.
That is a weapon from the original Leviathan, which we also don't have.
True. But
a reason I asked, do not hope.
The only thing new that they're going to put in the game that is not currently in it is an activity named Pantheon.
All right. So can I tell you what I hope it for it to be?
Why are you giving anyone who listens to this hope that there's more than there is ever going to be in this thing?
Let me tell you.
Don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Let me tell you the history. Be an addict. I got to shout out Addict. He is his sole existence for continuing to play Destiny. He's fallen off completely now, but his sole existence with Destiny.
Oh, he broke the addiction?
Oh, he broke it. Yeah,
he's gonna have to change his username. He's no longer an
addict.
addict.
He broke it maybe 5-6 months, but he's coming back for Final Shape. He's like, I got to see it through, and I got to see the raid.
He's like, hold on, my patches are wearing off. I need another hit.
He said, raids is why I'm here, Cognac. It's one of my favorite experiences in gaming is raiding, right? So he had always come up with this. He's like, bro, why doesn't Destiny let you face like the raid bosses? He said this years ago. So when I saw Pantheon, I'm like, bro, you see this now? Granted, what it most likely is going to be is every current boss in the game that we currently have, right? So we should see Atheon, we should see Oryx, we should see Riven, right?
Crota,
and Roke, probably the nice, quartet, whatever.
Nezarec,
Nezarec, yeah, exactly. So again, my only hope was just that I hope the implementation isn't just that, okay, this week, guys, it's Oryx. See you next week. I would like the back-to-back kind of joint. Like the same way you do 4 encounters in a raid. I know I'm asking a lot. But if there was any way they'd be like, all right, you did this, now you're on to Atheon. You did this, now you're on to Oryx. Just spice it up in some way, because Pantheon sounds fire.
Go look up the definition. I just don't know if it's going to live up to it.
I know.
That's the worry. Is like, hey, go run Last Wish.
Go fight all the gods.
Yeah, exactly.
Gods, bro. Yeah. Like, I can hope. Just based on the name. That's all. But what it's probably is going to be is most likely the ones that exist. But selfishly, I never got a chance to fight Galron. That's the only one I missed out on. So, because I missed out on Terrible. I never got that. That's the only exotic I don't have.
I mean, you can go buy it if you want to.
Yeah, 250 spoils, bro. I ain't
you read more than I do.
True. I probably got about 70.
Yeah. No, I just thought floating around on Twitter, people like, oh, what are they going to put back in the game? I was like, I didn't even take the time to respond because it's not worth the time to have that argument with somebody who was hopeful. But I'm like, you are not going to get old raid content, Scourge of the Past, Galvaron, Leviathan. That stuff's not coming back. They managed to pull like Whisper of the Worm into the new engine, which I got to bet was already in the works. One or both of those were in the works because they say pulling PvP maps into like the new engine takes some time for them to launch those things. Those 2 missions are way bigger than the PvP maps. And you're telling me they went through all the lighting and everything else in a couple of months just because it would, unless their engine got a lot easier to work with, it just, the time doesn't seem to line up. So it seems like those might have been in the works for maybe a Final Shape thing. They got a little more time. They pushed them forward, something like that. And again,
what do you think it is?
I think it's just, I mean, if it is just run 2 raids or something like that, and do challenge mode or something on a couple of raids, that's not going to be that exciting. If they have a way for you to just do like boss encounters and you do like, hey, it's this, and this. But it's not like go through the raid and go do these. If they can actually spawn you from one boss, and it's like you have checkpoints in all these raids.
Right.
So if you just start off and you're like, hey, you go from this checkpoint and then you beat the boss. And then, like, maybe it takes you to Oryx. And then you spawn the next thing in Pantheon and it gives you the checkpoint to there. If you can just do the 4 bosses like that, and that's the way it works, that'll be cool. Like, just boss rush mode, that would be nice.
One boss a week. No one boss a week.
No, I don't want it to just be go play Last Wish and beat Riven. Like,
that's
just
whack.
the featured raid.
Time gate it all. I want it. I want you to only be able to do one day of the month. For a full
one day of the month. It's going to be April 30th when I'm out of town.
Time gate it all.
Gate it all, dude. Yeah.
Don't put that energy out there. I don't put that energy.
Do it.
I don't like you like that.
Do it, baby. And in order to activate each boss fight, you have to get a special currency to summon that god. Yeah.
And you want to know what you have to do to get that currency? 100 public events.
Oh. Yeah, 100 public events and Gambit. That's right. You farm Gambit and public events to gain specific currencies for each boss, and then you have to spend those currencies. You can only play on Wednesdays.
Activity energy. I don't like that.
You can only play when it's a full moon out. If it's not a full moon, can't activate the activity.
You can only do it when it's a total solar eclipse, and it has to be in your area.
Right.
There's a limited number of people that get to do that on Sunday, and that's it. Or Monday.
Oh man.
I think you guys are.
What's it going to be, Trav? What's it going to be? What's Pantheon? Tell us.
I don't know. My guess is it's probably just like a montage of, hey, remember all those good times in Destiny? We'll relive them in this, fighting boss fight montage that ends in, us giving you trailer for the final shape or something. That's the best I can give you. They're just trying to hype people up or whatever. I don't really know, but
one boss. I mean, just guess. Just one boss.
I think it'll probably be a boss rush mode.
3. Okay.
Boss rush. But I don't think it'll be anything that's not already in the game. I think it'll just be like, hey, here's all the stuff you already played in like a boss rush mode, and I can see that being fun and having some novelty to it. But I think at the end, it's just them trying to fan service and hype up a little bit before final shape, and I think that's fine as long as the final shape delivers.
Okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna put my hopium. I'm gonna throw it out there. So if we go as of 8:15, Cog is right. I'm gonna die with this one. They're gonna give us one. It's gonna give us one that ain't in the game. So I'm gonna say either like a Callus. You can give us one.
All right, make you a wager. When you pass through my area in a little while.
Yeah, I will see you. Yeah. So
if you get anything that is not in the game, dinner's on me. If we don't get anything in the game, dinner's on you.
And you get to try. You get to try a spice. So you get to something. We got to put a little spice.
I have an entire spice cabinet in there, by the way.
All right. Something, catch up something. Something got to go down so I can feel this victory.
All salt and pepper, his spice cabinet.
And I can be like, look, y'all, E is putting this on this, and he's going to try it. Let me get this one, E. Come on. So if I get Leviathan or I get an Eater or something like that, one of them bosses, I ain't going to go crazy. No Wrath of the Machine. Nothing crazy. But
White
something
pepper's
from
actually
Leviathan. Yeah. What about that? We going to take that bet, E? Come on.
Pics of the spice cabinet or face thing. Okay. It's a picture of my pantry, but yeah, there's a lot of spices in there.
It's going to be like a tackle box. This is fish food.
I can't.
I'm talking about humans.
Tackle box. Rat to the mouse. So that's my bet, man. I think they pull out all the stops. Oh, he's going to go.
He's getting it. He's calling your bluff, bro. I can't wait to see what spices.
I want to see what he actually gonna do with this.
If it's just salt and pepper, I'm dying,
bro. If it's just,
do you think he'll have turmeric?
Nah, that's too much.
Nah, that's crazy, right?
That's crazy. That's wild talk for you.
Okay, but we have to judge him not just based on his spice rack, but we have to judge based on how full each of the spices are. Right? Yes. If he's got oregano and it's filled to the max, we know this dude is not using oregano, right? Exactly. That was a wedding gift.
It's cosmetic purposes only. Yes, I'm with you. Let's see what we got.
That doesn't look big.
Oh,
cayenne pepper. Okay, that's a good one. Cayenne pepper.
Bring the cayenne pepper back. Wait. Hold on. See, they fill.
That is full. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
No,
if it's full,
it's a
you are
item.
Basil, like you
That is
use
the
on
rule, bro.
everything.
All full, sir. Now I don't see a lot of usage. Oh, he ate. Okay, that's a big thing for him. For him to actually,
Now, cayenne pepper is just gonna burn, so I hate you both for this. But I've done worse, so this is just annoying.
Okay.
Cayenne pepper.
All right, it's a little.
Cayenne is actually getting usage.
Yeah, it's getting some usage.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm impressed.
Okay, so I saw the magic trick. He put the cayenne pepper bottle below camera view.
You can see it on my tongue.
No, and then he dipped his finger into a Cheetos bag, and then he showed the camera. See, it's cayenne pepper.
This is cayenne pepper. This just is red pepper. This shit burns, guys.
No, it doesn't. Cayenne pepper is for babies, bro. That's some baby stuff right there.
Don't put some on your tongue and tell me you don't feel it at all.
Nah, it's real.
Oh, I won't.
White
you
pepper.
don't
This
understand
is gonna be
me,
weird.
dog.
I've had white pepper.
Let's go.
Look how much white pepper is left.
Ooh.
That's not bad. White pepper's pretty good.
Let's go.
When I did the bomb, I've done enough stupid spicy stuff.
Oh wow.
3 spices alone. There you go.
So spices is good. Okay.
Do you have turmeric?
I'm
Nice.
curious.
He's got turmeric.
Wow.
He have it. He claims to have it.
So it's
Ask me and see what I've got.
It's
really sauces.
It's
sauces.
Okay,
I tried to tell you guys all this a long time ago, but nobody freaking listens.
Yeah, we don't listen.
No, I remember. I just chose to keep making fun of you because you're aggressively Caucasian.
Yo.
Garlic powder, onion powder. Yes, we have cumin. Absolutely, we like Mexican food.
Cumin's great. Cumin's great.
Cumin.
Yeah.
Cumin is amazing.
Okay.
Little pinch goes a long way. Did you think we said human?
I thought you said. I'm like, what?
Do you think he was seasoning with cumin?
I'm like, bro, I don't want no parts of that. That sounds like the last days.
Nah, man, you got to put a little bit of human. Sprinkle it over.
Sprinkle a human.
Literally, chili, paprika, cumin, chili powder, and cayenne powder. What those for in chili?
What is wrong with Cog? For a second, he thought we were just eating people. What the?
Last Word podcast.
Like, what is going
also,
on?
today we figured out Ebontis is a cannibal. What?
I was like, yeah, he's putting little skin cells on that.
He was like, wow, they do it different over there. What the? It's eating humans.
Did not see it going this way tonight.
Yeah, we definitely off the rails. We off the rails.
Yes.
But salute to you. So that'll be my little hopeful prediction. One little into the light.
That's some crazy prediction right there. But good on you, man.
Positive attitude. I'm shooting for. I'm trying to wish it into existence.
I mean, they how many times have they actually delivered a boss that wasn't just a larger version of an existing minion enemy? You know what I mean?
It was like Roke and Nezarek,
basically. Broke.
Yeah,
Roke, and then that's probably broke.
Oh, we got the dragon. 1,000 voices.
Oh, Riven, yeah.
Yeah, Riven.
Of 1,000 voices.
Yeah, they've done it a few times, but like I would say that if that is their bar for like main expansion releases at raids, like we're not gonna get it.
I was gonna say, I feel like at the time Scourge was unique. Now it's a Brig, but I feel like Scourge was before Brig.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Scourge. Yeah, he was near. We never really saw Brig before. Scourge was the first, right?
Do you think we're gonna fight? What's his name?
Gallus?
No,
Mr.
Robot Spiderlegs.
Mr. Robot Spider. Oh, Taniks. Yeah,
are we gonna fight Taniks again?
About him. That's a
Taniks is technically a god. So if it's Pantheon, right? Taniks is a god of the fallen.
Taniks is in the game. He's probably in there.
Taniks in the game. Taniks.
You think he's there, or do they avoid putting him in to avoid the meme?
That is a good. He technically supposed
he's got to be there. He's got to be there for the meme.
Yeah, he's got.
I would say yeah.
All right, let me ask you this: boss encounter, or most of these encounters have a setup before the boss encounter, so you get the
have like daughters and oryx, or just oryx,
or so probably just the oryx, right? I mean,
oryx,
that kind of, yeah.
I don't know why I would do both.
Okay, I'm just curious how they transition between each.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if they do a couple, like if they have different, like they could do like caretaker, and oryx, and Ute or something.
They can have Eris pull you out of it, you know.
Yeah, they could have some weird stuff going on.
I mean, I don't think it matters all that much.
Mm-hmm. But technically, as it stands, there's how many? Because we in the game right now, we got Crota, Atheon, Oryx, Taniks. Sorry for the police. What else we got?
We've got
Nezarek.
1,000 voices would probably
Riven. We got a lot in the game right now.
Yeah, no, there's quite a few.
Why the raid rotation's annoying. If you miss last
and
wish,
then
you
if
won't
you
see it for 2
wanted,
months.
if you wanted, you could even put in souped up versions of like,
Bulk.
Zol or Callus. Actually, Zol's not in the game
Zol's not in the game.
Oh yeah, Zol's gone. That's right.
That's true. But you could put the Callus fight from the campaign Lightfall if you wanted. That'd be funny.
I don't want to remember him in any Pantheon. Old school Callus, yes, with the place. That's when we used to use the cold heart. When we used to use cold heart, to be like, "Come on, guys."
I don't think so, buddy. I think
Interesting. But it was overall, I was at least excited about the idea of something like this. So
we'll figure out probably on the quid that is right before April 30th. But until then, we wait. Oh, cool. Raid Gauntlet's going to be on April 30th. I will be out of town, so I will miss that one.
Oh, April 30th. All right.
So that I will miss, which makes sense. I think then 0 Hour will be the week after, so I will be back for 0. Raids are less my thing anyway, so that's probably fine. Okay.
Wimp.
We've also got a Final Shape developer gameplay preview. Now, on Twitter, for those of you guys who are or aren't on the app, saw a lot of Bungie tweets were going out from a lot of people.
Old school, like this energy?
No, the old like Bungie, like the big cheering Bungies for this Final Shape preview. They were retweeting.
They're hyped.
They were very hyped for. They're like, you guys have no idea what's cooking. So I'm kind of curious. They're all excited for it. They've been putting a lot of work in. And they're going to show something. It's a little teaser.
I'm covering it for IGN.
Oh, we gonna get the real. Salute. I mean, look, I don't want to get too crazy, but I will say this. I'm seeing signs of life in the patient. We have not completely flatlined yet, but I see some positive things as far as a lead up, right? Now we've been here before, and I don't want to get too crazy, obviously, with the results of what happened. Lightfall definitely did a lot of damage, but it is cool to see flashes of the old school marketing cycle is what I would say, which is, you get a couple things leading to the release, the pre-release, you get the trailers going, you're getting the old school energy of them in the studio again, them excited again, them talking about stuff. Obviously we know the conditions in which Into the Light was made upon, and that couldn't be easy to put together something in 2 months based on a delay. Look, there's a lot of pressure on Final Shape. I am a little nervous because we know how important this is. Their future is on this. The company's on this. There's a lot on this. I will say, to your point though, I do like that they are proud of it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's at least solid. It's decent.
All devs should be proud when they get a project out the door. I don't think that means people should change their expectations or think that it means anything special, because anytime you get to the end of a project, people are stoked who worked on it, especially when it's the finale of a 10-year project game. I mean, just the fact that Destiny was able to get to the finish line, or any kind of finish line, is kind of amazing.
Between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 launched, the fact that we're here now.
And I'm a critic who's often critical of Destiny because I love it and I want the game to be good. But I think I'm happy to see it got this far, and I hope it is good.
Yeah, we hope it's good. And like I said, me personally, I just want to send my appreciation, through the conditions of everything that's been going on, how it is to make a game that we've been playing for, is it damn near 10 years? How long have we been playing this game?
With the delays, what did we have? A delay on Shadowkeep had a delay, Witch Queen had a delay, Light.
We played
I think everything's had a delay at this point. It might be coming up on its 11th year.
The first time we played Destiny was in spring of 2014 during the beta or the alpha that was on PlayStation.
Yeah, bro. It's been a journey. However it plays out, regardless to whatever, I'm appreciative. No game I've ever played this long and still have that level of investment and still some level of excitement. So I'm pulling for them. Let's see what happens.
Minecraft is the only game that I've had. It's kept my attention for this long.
This is my first. I've never experienced this. I feel weird. I feel guilty
for me.
Yeah.
WoW was probably
Wow.
That was probably the other one for me, because I played their expansions were a couple years apart, I think, when they would do theirs. So by the time I got done with Wrath of the Lich King, those might have been a little closer. But I mean, I played that off and on, and that's probably my second. Because I mean, I had multiple characters in later server iterations that had 45 days apiece or something. So I mean, you do the hours on those plus whatever else. It's like that was probably my other one.
Yeah, this is
but
my
this is still
I've,
probably bigger.
yeah, I've never played an MMO really prior to this, and this is literally my experience. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I like that I will say this: I like that they are doing a showcase for it. You know, they're not hiding it.
Yeah.
You know, obviously with the, you know, closed doors and situation, even though that's standard practice. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know, coming in there, cautious optimism, but we'll see what happens.
Let's see. We also have a little bit of a sandbox update, couple quick ones. Breach load grenade launchers increasing impact damage in PvE, but they're reducing like disorienting grenade radii for both damage and disorienting. That's like a weird nerf. Lightweight bows in PvE or PvP get a little bit of base damage since they're a little weak. Precision auto rifles reduce their base damage a little bit. Hand cannons getting a couple tweaks on body shot damage up a bit. Pulse rifles looks like it's increases across the board for quite a few of the frames. Scout rifles up by like 2%. Always cracks me up how small that stuff
I know,
is.
scout rifles.
Whisper of the Worm, so a couple tweaks, like Whisper is getting more in the reserve, so it's up to 24 total in reserve, so you got basically more ammo for your new exotic. 1,000 voices, total ammo from 7 all the way up to 11 before reserve mods. Quicksilver Storm is getting hit.
Oh, yeah.
The shots to trigger rockets are 50% more shots to trigger the rockets, so it's not going to be quite as strong. And the grenade area of effect damage versus combatants is down by 37.5%.
Don't like that part.
Either, I mean, yeah, so it's just rockets will happen less frequently. The grenade damage will be less. It's just getting a PvE nerf because it is very strong. Last word, increased base damage by 6%. I don't know who's asking for that, but more power to you. Same thing with Forerunner. Couple of perks. Recluse is coming back, so the damage bonus on Master of Arms is 15%, not 20. They're making a little tweak there. I think they've talked about like Luna's Howl and the changes there before. Micro Missile. All right, clearing the throat.
You good?
Let's see. Redesign this perk to be a weapon intrinsic and rebuilt it to be less damage versus players. That was the meme of like, I saw it this weekend of like a cat shooting it at the ground and like popping up, but he even did it in the stream. He just popped himself in the air.
That's hilarious.
Returned its PvE damage to be competitive with other breach load grenade launchers, granted it a slightly increased reload speed, so it's a little faster. Couple crucible changes. Flinch can have a randomizing effect on duels, so reduce flinch taken by all primary weapons. Gunshot has become very unforgiving with the new sandbox changes. Increased precision damage by 11% to address this for Crucible. Wish Ender's damage has been reduced by 5%.
Womp womp.
Strand fragments are going to be cheaper, so if you haven't got Strand completely unlocked, it'll be easier. They go through some of the new light stuff. Basically, each new light kit, if you skip, is 2 legendary weapons, exotic weapon, 4 rare armor pieces, and a legendary class item.
They should give you some of your time back, by the way. When they reduce the time it takes to do things, you should, if you spent time on it, they should like. There should be reparations, I think, in some way.
And then for Onslaught, on Tuesday, the first 3 fire teams to complete all 50 ways on Legend difficulty will receive a Lord Shaxx 7-inch mini replica helmet. As on Twitter, I saw that somebody was like, I need my 7 inches of Shaxx.
For the first 3, can you imagine Lord Shaxx delivering that news? He's like, all right, guys, first 3 of you to complete it, you're going to get 7 inches. My 7-inch helmet.
Wow. Shout out to Shaxx.
Wow.
Spread the love.
Yeah, next week we get Onslaught, the Brave Arsenal. We get Whisper next week, character recustomization. On the 30th, we get the Pantheon raid stuff starting start of May, which is like the 4th and 5th. I forget the date. 0 hour. All of the Brave Arsenal will be farmable by the 30th, I think, is the last one that they released since they compressed all of that. So yeah, we'll be playing some Destiny and farming some loot and revisiting exotic missions and raids.
Yeah,
we
man.
agree that 0 Hour is the worst named of the little dungeon activities.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Yeah,
Kind of
Harbinger,
like,
Whisper.
0 Hour, I expect like Tom Cruise to be in it. You know, it's like a Mission Impossible title.
Yeah, like action, yeah, over the top.
Mission
Crazy.
Impossible 0 Hour.
0
Oh
Hour.
man, it's my favorite Mission Impossible movie.
No. Yeah, man, excited to jump back in. I will be there. Look, man, what's so funny is in this free update, it's probably better than any recent season they've ever done.
No, I mean they crammed so much into this. Now they obviously it's remaking a lot of
7
things and
inches?
reusing things, but they are giving us a lot of stuff in a pretty compressed amount of time. That does seem pretty true.
Oh, shout out. Oh, hold on. We got to shout out the homie. We ain't even giving. I'm out here giving people. We got to shout out Mr. Farnsworth, man. This was a lot of him and his team.
Oh, yeah.
That did Into the Light. And we had him on. And that's where we learned stuff about the continuity in reference to seasonal content versus, the overarching story and stuff like that. And again,
thank
shout
him
out to that.
for Cabal Drop Pods.
Do not thank him for that. Sorry, Tom. You're going to get the smoke. Every time I curse you with that.
Pods, bro.
Yeah, bro. Them drop pods, bro.
Cabal's dropping their pods on you.
And the funny thing between him, Salisbury, and who's the third gentleman? They had the 3 white dudes with the bald heads, and they said they're.
I saw that picture. I forget who did that picture.
Tassie said they're multiplying.
Yeah.
He took the screenshot, and I was that they all white dudes with glasses with the bald head. I was like, yo, this is funny.
I think it was the guy talking about the exotic missions, but he was really passionate about who he was talking about.
Yeah,
what was his name?
I forget. Very cool dude.
Yeah.
Very cool dude. But yeah, salute to all of them. And shout out to Salisbury actually responded to me when I kind of gave them a little bit of love because I know how difficult those things must be, on camera and stuff. So yeah, I thought they did a good job. But we'll see. I will be rocking and rolling next week and a lot of content to play. So it's cool. Yeah, and I gotta get my oversouls. I still need 2 oversouls in.
I probably should work on some of that stuff in the next 2
Done.
months.
Catalyst acquired long ago.
Bro, that catalyst, yo. Then you got to do that thing where the knights come out and
and guess what? I did a long time ago. I'm at 100% catalyst fulfillment.
Nice. Yeah, I got it.
People say I don't play Destiny, and they're right. But you know what? I play enough.
You play enough. Yeah,
I don't have all the crafted weapons, but
got my little Abyss Defiant and finally the drop. So I'm getting ready. I'm getting ramped up, and I got to get that Tusker or whatever the foolish. But thanks to E, I will be cashing in Ingrams to hope that thing drops, so I don't have to prestige that things. The minute I get it, E, and I get a roll I like, and Iron Banner is over.
Yeah, I've been doing just some control to get some rolls on it, but I mean, I
haven't even done it. I can't.
Yeah, you good, Trav. You good. I would say, Trav, though, I'm curious. Put your little feet in competitive for a little bit. I'm curious how you take
I did a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Right after the sandbox changes. Yeah, it was good.
Like if you were gonna go full strand on the grenade launcher, you could go slice and hatchling.
Slice and hatchling.
But I got my envious and chain.
Hatchling sucks though.
Yeah,
hatchling doesn't feel. But I was like, I mean, for strand, it's like if you were just gonna lean into strand.
Yeah. If you were just doing it for the theme.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'd rather still do chain and then use the aspect that every gives you a chance for a hatchling anyway. There's an aspect, right? That any strand kill gives you a chance for a hatchling. So I just throw that on, and I got hatchling for free on every weapon.
Yeah, well, you're a hatchling master anyways. That's your thing.
Can you guys stop saying hatchling? So we can
Why you don't like my hatchlings, bro?
I don't know, bro.
Hey, let him talk about hatchlings, and he's not going to be talking about humans like he was earlier, and we're fine.
Just bring a little human on that, baby.
A little bit of human, baby.
Everybody's like, what is he saying? He's saying human. Everyone here is saying human. It is cumin. Every time he has said it, it has been cumin and nothing else.
I honestly, I respect Cog more than I probably ever have after this episode because he saw 2 guys who he thought was talking about eating humans, and his only reaction was to raise his eyebrows slightly and then immediately tried to hide his surprise. Like he kept his cool remarkably well. Like if I thought you guys were eating humans, we'd have to stop the show because I'd be like, wait, hold on, But Cog literally, his reaction was like, okay. Like he was like, You know, he's
What
like, all
part of the
right.
human
So
is this?
I did not know
Yeah, he
that's
was
how
like-
you got down. Please
Yeah.
tell me more. Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Actually, don't.
yeah.
Clearly,
No.
a
He was-
delicacy from where
He,
y'all
he
from.
was like trying to keep it cool in case it was a test for him to get invited into the Illuminati. You know, he was like, all right, I just got to pretend like this is cool.
And that's all we've got for the
Otherwise-
show today,
no
folks. That
diddy,
is
I'm
where we
good.
are wrapping it up. All right, this episode of The Last Word, it has been. Oh my God.
Last word.
Anywho, please keep watching IGN all month long. Eternal Strands looks cool. I gotta say about Eternal Strands, because this, as we wrap it up,
Let's go.
any game that makes me feel small. It's one of those things. Movies rarely do it. Eternals gets some crap as a movie, which you can give or take whatever you want. The sense of scale in Eternals is probably one of the coolest things I've seen. When they zoomed out and the Celestial has her in space, I was floored, because I'm pretty sure I saw that one in IMAX, which did probably a little bit more to it. The sense of sometimes, it's rare for things that really can give you the sense of scale, because it's hard to picture how small we are, especially in something like the universe or the galaxy, and we know we're tiny. But same thing in games. Like when you are small enough to, you're like, I'm the size of that thing's ankle, not even his foot, his ankle bone. And then I'm going to try and climb my way up it. And I think Eternal Strands, between Dragon's Dogma, Shadow of the Colossus, those types of things, when you get anything of that size, and then when I saw in the video today with like the heat that they're doing, and if the weather in the area, if you get like a sudden ice storm, it's going to be easier to fight the fire guy. But if you're in a desert and it's dry outside, like you're going to catch wildfire everywhere or something. I'm like, there's a lot more systems going on in Eternal Strands than I think than they've kind of let all of. I'm very curious.
A ton of Unreal 5 stuff. Like they're taking advantage of it a lot. Like also if you're in a drought and you're fighting a fire creature and you use ice powers, your ice powers are way weaker, because if you try to do things like freeze his foot to the ground, that ice melts like that, and then you're just like, welp, I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just we're gonna talk about the tech and the unique stuff that they do with it on Tuesday. So that's the next big piece of content.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to temper how much I tell you guys now,
No,
because I've only shown the reveal trailer and the boss fight, but I'm going to have a whole lot more to say about it as the month goes on. So thanks for watching, E. And
absolutely.
Yeah,
I've been trying to hype you guys up in Yellowbird Games on Twitter. I'm like,
it's cool, dude. Yeah, I saw you there. I already told their marketing person that she needs to give you a code when they start doing their stuff. I was like, get him on the code train. She was like, of course.
Nice.
He's our biggest fan right now. I was like, he is.
But I mean, like, what it reminds me of is like a super resolution version of Immortals Phoenix Rising with a lot cooler systems. And I don't have any idea what's going on with the story because we haven't seen it. But like, you take Immortals Phoenix Rising and it's just so much more detail, like the armor. And I kind of like paused a couple frames. We talked about it on stream and watched the trailer. And it just, that was such a fun game. And then now you've got because you said it perfectly, you had the kinetic powers of Tears of the Kingdom with like the telekinesis, matter manipulation, like throwing your body through it, but also like the size of scale of the enemies and kind of the open adventure stuff. It looks like a game I'm going to have a blast with. And
so I will give you guys a little bit of a sneak preview here.
Exclusive. Hold up. World premiere.
This is not an exclusive. It's something you can find on their Steam, but I think it has been overlooked by people who don't know it. If you go to their Steam page and then you scroll over to the screenshots, you'll see one screenshot that is story based, and you can kind of see where they get their their inspiration from. Hades. Basically,
I did see those pictures. Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, they're doing the Hades thing when you do story bits, which I was a big fan of, and they are a big fan of Supergiant and the Hades games and all that. So yeah, we will have a piece about story.
The picture right after that, where she's just climbing a tree.
Yeah,
I have a lot of questions about that alone, and I know you can't tell me yet, but.
Let's see which one you're talking about.
That's the one right after. I'm like, so can you just
in that area?
Can you just climb a tree? Is there a stamina?
You can climb
system?
Anything. There's a stamina system. Yeah.
But then you get to the picture. I think it's the last one in that row. Yeah, I think it's the last one. It looks kind of like a little shrine area, but overlooking massive statue in area.
Yes, I can say that is a social space.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it looks
the artistry.
It's also got a really interesting. I don't know if you guys have caught on to this yet, but it is sewing themed.
It's what?
It's
Sorry, you cut out for a sec.
sewing themed. Like it's called
Yeah.
Eternal Strands, and
Oh,
you
like
play
the
a
needle is the A in Strands. It looks like
yeah.
a okay.
You play a weaver, and the teleportation machine that brings you to fast travel points is called the Loom.
Hey,
It has like a
you need to have Yellowbird Games
sewing.
talk to Destiny, and somewhere in 2025 we have a Strand
go.
crossover event.
There we go. There
Right.
we go.
Yeah.
I need the ship and the emote and the suit so we
Yeah.
can complete it.
I mean, I'm just saying, if my Titan gets to wear I forget the boss's armor name, but the big hammer, it's literally Fire Titan. Let me look like that guy. I'm good. He's got like horns on his helmet. I'm
It
down.
does look cool. That was a fun fight. I can't talk about that. The written version was me fighting him. I fought him in a bunch of different conditions. Dude, if you fight that guy in a forest, huge mistake. Like he slams his hammer down one time. When he slams his hammer down one time, he like sets the entire forest on fire, and there's like no way to put it out. Like you were so screwed. You were so like every single surface will kill you, and then you basically have to climb on him because he's the only safe thing.
Didn't
he
and set himself on fire in the video.
He lights himself on fire when he gets mad, and so then you're just like, no. So I was doing this.
I hope you have a paraglider to get out of there because you need something.
You have telekinetic powers that you can use to throw yourself in the air, but the cool killer feature of that game is you have 9 powers and you can mix and match them to do really weird stuff. So you can like
were you the one doing the gameplay?
I did. Some of the gameplay is me
because it looked like you were trying to like set up a spell, then you were picking another one, kind of throwing it on him. So there's like, you were trying to do a little pick and choose, and I was trying to follow, but it was like a lot was happening quickly in the video.
I have a piece where we talk about the way the combinations work that's coming up, but basically you have fire spells and they make the environment hotter, and that affects the world. Like it actually makes the like air hotter, and it affects how things work. Ice that does the opposite, and then there's also telekinetic powers, and so you can use it to kind of manipulate gravity, and so you kind of have like a gravity gun, and then also the thermodynamic abilities, and the way they interact is really interesting. You can pull off some really weird combos if you're just like goofing around. Like you can make a telekinetic mine, and then you can run and jump at that mine and then cause it to explode and shoot yourself in the air. And yeah, it's very cool, very interesting game. So we'll have more on it, but fighting giants is cool.
Always. Yeah. When it's well done. But yeah, the style I was like super resolution version of Immortals Phoenix Rising with more badass powers is basically what I got so far. And it looks pretty legit.
It's not the same type of game as Immortals, which I would describe as like an open world, RPG kind of Ubisoft thing. It's definitely doesn't feel like that. In fact, I would say it feels more like, I don't want to call it a Souls game because it's 100% not, but it has that same like open world exploration where you're fighting minions, except for instead of boss fights, the 9 bosses are just roaming the world, and you just encounter them organically or not. But if you don't encounter them,
you could almost miss some of the powers. It seems like.
Yeah, they're super easy to find because they're so big. Yeah. So if you're in the area and there's a boss, you will know. But like, they do roam freely, and you don't have to kill them. And if you don't kill them, you don't get the power. And so that's sort of like it's kind of Mega Man. It kind of reminds me of Mega Man. There's 9 bosses.
I knew there was a reason I liked it. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It kind of is Mega Man. Mega Man meets Shadow Colossus.
One of those things like Maddie and I share is like stupid. He likes the later Mega Mans, I think, a lot, like Battle Network and stuff. And I never even touched those. Mine's like Base and X. Those
Battle Network's great.
I was like, I feel like I'm missing some, but
are you muted, Cog?
Yep, he's muted.
All right. Yes, he loves that. Yeah,
Battle Network's great, but I also like the old ones. The old ones are awesome.
Classics.
One of my Spotify songs that I have saved is Mega Man 2 Dr. Wily's either battle music or something like that. It's just an iconic one for me. So but yeah, game looks very cool, and I do feel like we are going to have some slowdown in games, but I feel like things just keep popping up lately. At some point, it's probably going to slow down.
My review calendar is pretty full. I was expecting this year to be like lighter. I didn't think I was going to get anywhere close to the volume I've done for the past 2 years, but then I did 5 reviews in March, and now it's looking pretty strong. So
yeah, that one was pretty crazy. But yeah, this month of like.
This month is full. We got a ton of stuff. Yeah,
like Stellar. Okay, I got to talk about Stellar.
I think my next review is No Rest for the Wicked.
Early access. I know. April 18th.
Yeah, I think I get it next week.
So. Nice.
Yeah,
good.
Like, yeah, that one's, I think it's going to be early access. So I'll be curious if it's like kind of
Yeah,
feature
ours is an
complete, but
early
story
access
complete.
review.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah, No Rest for the Wicked, Tales of Kinzera, and then Stellar Blade is like bam, 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 like 5 days apart on each one of those. Now I got to talk about Stellar Blade just for a second. The game with the booty, we know it. I would joke about it with my wife. It's hilarious. I'm playing the game for the articles. There's too many jokes about this game. But I will tell you, the boss design and the combat feedback loop and everything that is going on in there, if you can look past the booty, which is hard to do because it is right there all the time, but the actual combat in that game, when I really got into the boss, but like the boss fight towards the end of the demo and stuff, it feels really tight combat. Like it's like a little Devil May Cry mixed with Sekiro kind of balance, because you've got her doing some weird combos, but also the parries have really solid feedback on them. So when you do parry, the big thing staggers over and stuff, it's noticeable. I don't know. I think the combat will be cool. I just don't think there's a way to talk about the game without having a lot of jokes come up, which is annoying because I think the combat will actually be a cool experience to go through.
Yeah, they said like that. Yeah, and the way they messaged that too felt to me like, okay, that was weird. That's weird that you put it that way. But yeah, I was telling my friend about this because we were talking about how that game, interests us, and we both just agreed that the weird character modeling does make us less excited about it for some reason.
Yeah,
Like
it's like it oddly takes away from it. Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes it's like it was unnecessary, and it's not that I think it's like demeaning or whatever. I'm not opposed to like sexualized character. It just feels really out of place, and
Yeah.
it makes me think the story is going to be bad. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't
just
build a
doesn't
lot of
feel
faith in that department.
Yeah.
Play the demo, see if you like it. I mean, have you played the demo yet,
Yeah,
Travis?
I played the demo, and I kind of felt the opposite. To me, it felt kind of like a Dark Souls light. Like I didn't think the parrying or dodging was that tight to me.
It was
but
mainly only the boss fight. It felt that way because a lot of the little enemies for me, it was really weird to get the timing on. So I agree there, but it was like the boss felt like a good boss. Maybe not quite Liza P, because those were some of the best ones I played in a while, but the boss felt good. The little enemies, that's kind of a thing about Rise of the Ronin, I will say, about the combat. When the little enemies have all these like spastic things that you got to kind of figure out, and especially when everybody has a sword and a weapon or a pole arm or anything, and they've all got slightly different variations. It's not like, hey, I can learn this one enemy type. They have 20 different variations. It gets a little weird. It was the boss fight, I think, that probably is why it clicked with me and I want to play it. The little guys, I will agree, they were kind of odd with the timings and stuff. And I kept wanting just like, let me figure out the timing, and I was missing a lot of them. So it was a bit of a struggle.
I'm interested in it though, and obviously it's not a final product. It could end up being tighter in the game, and I'm interested. But yeah, there's just some things about that game where I'm like, there's lots of good Souls likes out there. I'm not sure this is going to be like a must play, but we'll see.
Yeah, Stellar Blade. It's it's kind of one of those where the character was not necessary to do, and I feel like as we've said, it's like I feel like I have to give myself a disclaimer when I play it. It's like joke with my wife. I'm playing the game for the articles and the review. It's like, and you shouldn't have to do that if the game is actually fun to play. But it does feel like that doesn't add anything to it. It just takes away. So it's, I don't know. Yeah, Rise of the Ronin it's kicking my butt. So I gotta kind of keep playing that one too. But it's fun.
Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah, there've been some pretty chunky guys that have worked me over pretty. I know there's a lot of jokes in what I just said. I am sorry. That was poor choice of words and phrasing. Any other? Yes. So we're towards the end of the Cup podcast, and we've obviously fallen completely off the rails. So yeah. Jump Ship. That was another preview I saw.
Mm-hmm.
That looks good. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't get a chance to see that one yet. I was looking at I was looking at
Ship.
IGN's Hellblade 2 coverage. I was actually
okay. You want to talk about that for a second? Because that game looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks great. Obviously, the elephant in the room, which I'm not surprised at, was the 30 frames, because when I remember seeing it at the preview, I was like, how I knew? I was like, when Indiana Jones came on after, I'm like, oh, that's 60. See what I'm saying, kind of thing. But it looks like they're really pushing UE5 and the sound design. And, as a person who really loved the first game, I'm excited about it. The only nitpick I saw is just that the combat is definitely improved. but I think they're focusing more one-on-one combat as opposed
they
to
even said combat is one-on-one.
Right. Yep. So that part is interesting to me. That is definitely a design choice, and I want to see how else everything else lands. But from everything I read, I was extremely excited. For a person who loved the first game, they seemed to address a lot of the issues I had. But we'll see. We'll see. It looks like a lot of potential there. But I'm getting excited, more excited for help.
Yeah, that's in May, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad it's short. That makes me so much more excited for it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's like that, but that game also doesn't need to be. It
could have been bad if they stretched it out. You ever play a game that feels like it could be a great game if it were 6 hours long, but then it's 30, and then by the end of the 30th hour, you end up hating it?
I feel like you've had quite a few of those.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I've done a lot of it. It's just like, dude, if it was shorter, I would have liked it more, and that is such a bad feeling.
Yeah,
I
agree.
So,
like, just make it. No, that's kind of the thing. I feel like the combat with the graphics in Hellblade is going to be absolutely visceral. The audio is going to be crazy. Like if you hit somebody in the head with whatever sword she's got, I swear it's just going to lodge into the skull, and you're going to have to like pull it out. It feels like it's going to have that type of combat, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be like action combat or like anything where it needs to be tight timings or perfect parries. It's not going to have that kind of combat. It's going to be more.
Yeah,
it's more about the experience, and that's kind of the way the first one was. Is the way the audio was handled, having those moments. Because I mean, towards the end of that, you get a decent amount of combat without saying why, and then there's a point where things happen. But it's the puzzles.
Yeah, we're there for the story.
It's like it's going to be the story, the visuals, and the combat is part of the vehicle. I think more than
feeling like you're going insane. That's why we're all playing it.
Yeah, absolutely. The
we're
level
Destiny
of
10 years on. We need some type of outlet, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so it was cool coverage to see today.
Yeah. No, Jump Ship. If you haven't heard about, sorry to jump back to that one.
No,
I think it's co-op PvE space. It looks oddly cool. I think it got a whole lot of wish lists and stuff. They said it looks like FTL, which I forget what that stands for. And then combined with Sea of Thieves.
Faster than light.
Okay. So it's like a Sea of Thieves 4-player co-op combination going into like hostile environments, but you're like jetpacking around and taking out alien landscapes. It looks cool. And that was another one I saw. So IGN's been busy this week trying to give me more things to keep up on.
Mm-hmm. It looks cool looking.
Yeah, that one's interesting.
I have a surprising lot of games to play, and I still don't seem to have much of a time for half the ones. So,
lot of games.
Well, probably a good place to wrap it up. And next week we will have our thoughts on Onslaught and Whisper and some of the Brave Arsenal
and the Final Shape too, right?
Yeah,
Final Shape gameplay. Yep.
Yeah,
lots to discuss next week. So
Travis will be on a reporter on the scene, boots on the ground.
Yes, boots on the ground. We are here outside Bungie Studios. The pyramid ships are flying in overhead, and currently Onslaught is happening. I can hear the Guardians down there defending the last city.
Yeah, that'd be funny. In the studio a character like that. That'd be dope.
I would love to see you do like a green screen kind of like thing where you're just like in front of Onslaught, be like, right now. That would be so funny.
Yes.
Looking forward to
crazier things have happened.
Yeah, they bring a giant fan in, and then all of a sudden, just like an explosion.
Yeah, see his hand.
Hire a stunt double. Travis flies off screen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's all I got. So watch the channel. I've got some things that you guys will get to see soon. Some things obviously will be covered, obviously like Destiny, but then other things that I can't tell you about yet. And Travis has a lot to look forward to this month. I was going to say, with you doing all of this, are you still trying to review anything else in there too later? Oh, you said No Rest for the Wicked. Yeah, you are. Okay.
No Rest for the Wicked is later this month, and then I'm going to do that Crab Souls-like.
Oh my God, I kind of want to play that too. I saw that.
Yeah, another Crab's Treasure.
Yeah.
So I'm reviewing 2 or 3 games this month, and then the IGN First is almost done for me. I'm finishing up the final preview probably tomorrow, and then I just have to wait for it all to come out and all that. So. My work's basically done there. But yeah, it's been super fun, and I'm getting ready for some other exciting stuff that's coming up. But new article on Tuesday and new article on Thursday.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
Dope.
Any exciting podcasts things on all of your podcasts that you do?
All right. Yeah, probably I'm glad that I'm actually not having to do anything too crazy, this week. But travel will be ramping up obviously in May, June, late May, June. So we'll get that going, and hopefully I'll make a Texas two-step at
I'll show you what a
one
real
of the
steak tastes
events.
like.
Yeah. No doubt. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be dope. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Low key this week, but everything will start ramping up next week. And yeah, grab the homies and a lot of Destiny and a lot of other games. And I blame you all for Dogma. Damn you, I'm addicted.
I don't feel like I have to
Great
apologize
game.
at all. It's a great
Take credit
game.
for it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The fact that you're wandering around the organic experience is what hooked you. That's why I
Yeah.
enjoyed the game. I wandered up a path, and then all of a sudden I saw two things fighting down below. I was like, that looks terrible. And then I
Mhm.
accidentally shot one of them with a giant ballista, and I pissed it off, and it jumped up and like attacked our area that we were up in, and it shouldn't have been. It was a mess.
It's absolutely
But I also
chaotic.
found like a fire spear for the Mystic Spear hand somewhere. I think maybe it was up there or not, and that was a badass weapon I used for a while. All of that. Exploration is rewarded and organic things
Yes.
happen all the time. For me, it's great. For another one of my friends, it is a game I would tell him probably never to play. Like,
Yeah,
so
I have a friend actually, do you guys know him? The Ben Kierton, the Gunfire Games dude?
Remnant.
Yeah.
He hates Dragon's Dogma too. He hates it.
I mean, and
Hates it with a passion, and it's just because he has very little tolerance for like some of the jankiness and clunkiness and like,
I mean, and
it just doesn't
no
like
lock on the camera. They could use a little lock on.
And I get that, dude. I get it, especially if you're a game designer in
Yes.
the West and you
I
have
get
like principles that you kind of hold up as like ideal, and you made a great game, Remnant 2. I could see you looking at Dragon's Dogma and be like, why do people like this?
I mean, that's totally fair though. It's kind of curious to hear that stuff though. Like, why do you like this versus this? What would like in different studios do things in a different way, and it all depends on.
You should have him on the show. You could just talk crap about Destiny. I think he hates Destiny. I'm not sure.
I mean, as a game developer, I'm sure there's plenty of things that people have opinions about in there, but they're all probably like, I wish we could figure out the shooting quite like they do it.
Yeah, that's that thing.
There's that.
Yeah.
So.
Remnant did a pretty good job.
Remnant was good. Third person shooting, but it still felt very good. Yes. No, I enjoyed Remnant. Enjoyed the crap out of that one. Remnant 3, 5 years from now. They're working on DLC or something, I'm sure, first.
Yeah, they got DLC later. I think they're doing 2 DLC drops this year.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Well, as we get towards 8 o'clock and about an hour and 45 minutes in, thank you, chat. You guys have been fantastic. My lovely co-hosts, gentlemen. The pre-show entertainment, which you guys were not privy to, and you won't be, but that was entertaining, but that's why I love these guys. They're great. Wouldn't trade these two for anybody. But other than that, we have good times here, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. So if you are watching on iTunes, Spotify, you're looking for YouTube, I will try and post the link to like Twitter and a couple other places you guys can find the actual channel. You're looking for it, look up the last word 290 or 290, look it up by episode number, and you'll probably find the YouTube with it, because SEO for that channel, not great, because we're competing with somebody way bigger on a news channel. Don't worry about that. But outside of those moments, thank you guys for another fun episode, and for episode number 291, it has been The Last Word.